what's up DIYers? Mike Boards with the Mike Boards channel. Thank you for watching. Working on a Toyota Camry today. In today's video, we're going to show you how to replace your master brake cylinder properly and safely. Let's get started. All right, DIYers, we are at the workstation, and hey, if you are joining us from our previous video where we showed the step-by-step process on how to properly and safely bench bleed the master brake cylinder, glad to have you. In that video, we mentioned my parents' 2003 Sea-Doo GTX in-house for the winter for a bunch of DIY repair videos for all of you, the DIY community. Let's head to the workbench. Making our way around the workbench, and DIYers, we are always busy here. And today's project, we are going to again show the step-by-step process on how to replace your master brake cylinder. We will remove the old one and install this brand new one. And again, this is completely bench bled and ready to be installed. And we've got two white plugs in the brake line fitting ports. And this sat overnight. And the reservoir is full with fresh, new brake fluid, .3 in our case. And no leaks overnight, which is good. We'll keep those plugs in. And from here, let's head out to the car and remove the old, needing to be replaced master brake cylinder. However, taking a step back, down below in the comment section and description section will be several links on where to purchase the items shown in these videos, and one of which is a swivel vise. And we will have a link on how to properly install a swivel vise to a workbench. And to our 10mm wrenches, you can see the bottom one is more shinier and larger. And let's take a look and focus in on the inner cut of the wrench itself. A little different from that straight and base rounded portion wrench. And this is a brake line fitting specific wrench. And in most cases, it will work perfectly. However, in our setup, we are not going to remove all the vacuum lines and hoses. And because of that, this actual brake line specific wrench will not be the best for us. However, we just wanted to show it to you. And again, two 10mm wrenches. And there is the very important pin we used as we bench bled the master cylinder. All right, here we are in the garage, and today's project is our 99 Camry. And we're going to pop the hood and disconnect the negative cable from the battery. Disconnect all electrical power for safety purposes. At this point, I've got the hood open. We are looking at our battery and the black negative cable, and in our case, a 10mm. And we are going to just loosen it up. You don't actually have to remove the bolt completely. Just loosen it to a point where you can pull the lead off and set it aside where it's not going to hop back and make contact with the terminal during the project. You don't want that. Taking a big step back, we are standing now in front of the car looking inside the engine compartment, and let's go all the way up to our master brake cylinder and brake booster assembly and unit. There it is. And kind of a tight fit to work with or in, but that's okay. I am going to place a bunch of paper towel underneath the master brake cylinder because it will leak brake fluid when we disconnect and remove the lines. In our case, 2. And on the back side, we've got an electrical connection that feeds power to our brake reservoir quantity sensor. And I did just that again, paper towel directly below the master brake cylinder because I'm going to remove 2 brake lines, one on top as you see to the left, and to the right on the lower side portion, a second one. And then we have 2 12mm nuts that we have to remove, one on each side, as you see right down there. And those are the nuts that secure the master cylinder to the brake booster. At this point, I've got the camera position looking directly down at the master brake cylinder, and to give you a better view as I loosen up the brake fittings and the 12mm nuts as well as the electrical connection, I'm going to loosen up this clamp and remove this vacuum hose. And as you work through this project, in the event that you are going to remove any hoses, do not damage them. There we go. I'll set that aside. And the next thing I'm going to do is direct my attention to the electrical sensor. Again, the brake fluid quantity sensor. I'm going to push in the lock tab and simultaneously pull it out. Do not pull it by the wires. And I'll set that aside. From here, before loosening and removing up the 2 brake line fittings, I'm going to loosen up each of the 12mm nuts. And coming to the right side, and again, 12mm nut. I'm not removing it, just loosening it at this time. And those 2 are loose. And on this side, you have this entire mount here that will be on the inner portion when resecured. Back to the left side. and that is loose. And from here, I'm going to carefully break loose and remove each of the brake line fittings. And again, it's going to leak brake fluid. That is normal. Whatever you do, don't get inside your car and push the brake pedal at this point. That would not be good. And that one's loose, and this one is the reason why I can't use that specially designed wrench. I need to come in at an angle like this. Let me move the camera. As you see right there. There we go. And again, just be careful. If you have to do it this way, don't strip it. That would not be good. And that one is loose. And again, it's not going to leak much from the line itself because you're not inside the car with the engine running and the vacuum system and the brake booster pressurized, and you're not pushing on the brake. Again, do your absolute best not to do that. I'm going to rest that right there and remove the lower line completely. And the lower line is loosened up to a point where I can remove it as I pull the master cylinder outward and up. And from here, I will continue removing both of the 12mm nuts so I can pull the master cylinder up and out. Now to the right side. Ever so carefully maneuvering the socket and extension without the ratchet to remove that last 12mm nut. And from here, before you pull it up and out, again, just take into consideration both of the brake lines and additional parts on the left side, if looking at it from this side. And we are going to carefully pull this part off without damaging anything downstream. There we go. And ever so carefully maneuver the old master cylinder out. DORs, there it is. And there is the back side. And that inner piston is supposed to be all the way back flush with that lock clip, and it's not. And our brakes, our entire brake system, is experiencing degraded performance because of it. Let's set this aside, go back inside to the workbench, and grab the new master cylinder. All right, DLR's back inside to the workbench and the new master cylinder. And again, checking for leaks on either ports, and all looks good. We're going to keep those plugs installed, loosen up the vise, where we can pull the master cylinder out. And I'm going to rest it carefully on the paper towel. And real quick, before we go back out to the car and install this, I do want to show you the inner portion of the piston and master cylinder bore, as well as the O-ring that is going to create that airtight seal to prevent a vacuum leak. You definitely don't want that. All right, here we are back out to the vehicle, and what I'm going to do next is just carefully clean any debris out of that little hole or indent insert in the brake booster. And that inner pin right there is what extends and pushes that inner piston inside the master cylinder back and forth as you push the brake pedal. And from here is the new master cylinder. I'm going to keep the plugs installed again. Check the placement of the rubber seal or O-ring. And the piston itself is all the way flush with the lock ring. Ever so carefully lowered into place. And once you get the actual inner cylinder or rear side inside the circular indent of the brake booster housing, I'm going to carefully bring this part up and onto the threaded stud. And that's a little tight. What I'm going to do is get the 12mm nut started on those threaded studs, just so the master cylinder doesn't pop out. And I'm not tightening it all the way, just getting that nut on the thread. And it's still a little tight, so what I'm going to do is come down and remove the 1/2-inch plug on the lower port. Actually switch to a 14, it's a better fit. Plug out and immediately bring the line in without cross-threading it, very important. And it's in the hole. And coming over here, just verifying it comes up on. Now to an update and a close view of what I've done so far. Down below to the right, I've got that fitting in and secured and tight. And just to the right of that, you see the 12mm nut, again, not all the way tightened, coming over to the other side. I've got the additional brake line and housing feeding in and will be tightened and secured with that additional or left side 12mm nut. And now that those 12mm nuts are on and threaded in a bit and that line is secured, I'm now going to remove that plug and immediately install the upper line. And do not over tighten these fittings. I know I'm coming in from above in a non-standard or non-normal angle, but that's okay. And back to securing the 12mm nuts. And very important step, as you tighten up each of these 12mm nuts, you want to do them in sequence to properly seat and seal that rubber O-ring. And what I mean by that is 5 turns on this side, hop to the opposite side, 5 turns, and keep going back and forth again, as that will allow you to draw the entire cylinder inward in an even manner to properly seat that O-ring so it can create that airtight seal. Now to another close-up view, and again the top fitting is secured and both of the 12mm nuts are secured, and now creating that airtight vacuum seal. And I removed the paper towel and I spent a couple minutes and just cleaned up any of the fluid that leaked. And from here, we need to resecure the electrical connection and that hose. And the electrical connection is all the way on this side. And I'm going to feed it on the opposite end and align it properly and push it in until it clicks and is locked in place. Just like that, and the hose. All the way on, and compress the clamp and feed it on. As shown right there. From here, just double check everything, and what I'm going to do next is take the cap off and add some fluid, bring it back up to the full line. Again, fresh, clean .3. Put the cap back on. And I'll go inside the vehicle and ever so carefully push the brake pedal, maybe 2 to 3 times. After that, open up the cap and verify it's still at the max full line and seal it off. From here, I'm going to let it sit for an hour uninterrupted, and when I come back, I want to check for any leaks at the fittings. And here we are back from a 1-hour break. I've resecured the negative cable to the battery, restored electrical power, and to the fittings, no leaks, which is good. And from here, if you need to, bleed your brakes properly and safely to ensure that your brake pedal and brake system is operating as designed for safety purposes. Brakes are working good. DIYers, we are back from the test drive. All went well and the brakes work great. Again, we hope this helps. Hey, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely ring your YouTube bell. That'd be very helpful to us. We would really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. And I took a minute or two and wiped and cleaned up the entire brake booster housing. Checked for leaks at all the fittings. Topped off the reservoir cap. And double checked everything one last time. And before we wrap this video up, again, I want to talk about the importance of bench bleeding the master cylinder before installing it to the booster. By doing that, that way you alleviate introducing a substantial amount of air to the brake system. You don't want that. That would be a nightmare.